The video I'm about to make could very well get me doxxed, but that's not the first time I've said that before. There's been quite a few videos I've made on people that, well, let's just say they're not the most stable of individuals, and quite possibly they could, if they wanted to, mess me up, but I don't really care. That's just the truth of it. I mean, it's not smart, don't get me wrong, but stuff like this needs to be called out, and if nobody else will do it, then whatever, I'll just take care of it, why not? I also want to talk about it genuinely, and I don't like being told what to do and what not to talk about and who to avoid and stuff like that. I absolutely hate that there's just some people I just cannot talk about for the safety of this own channel, and you know who I'm talking about, but that's a subject for a different day if that day ever comes in the first place. I'm getting ahead of myself. Chris Hansen. Alright, look, he's not working with this guy as far as we know anymore, but this is an individual that I've talked about before, like I think a week or two ago, that is definitely somebody who has worked with Hansen in the past, and somebody who Hansen very passively disavows, but this guy's a menace, and Hansen enabled this guy and put this guy on the map, and I think Hansen has a responsibility to do something about this. Of course, you know who I'm talking about. It's Anonymous Gene, the guy who, well, the hacker who retrieves information, who doxes people, who Hansen worked with directly earlier this year. Now, he says, and even the Gene guy, he says they don't work with each other anymore. Both of them are like distanced from each other. But like I said before, I mean, this guy is a psychopath who was put on the map, who is now actually going the extra step, and I'll show you guys in just a second, but he's actually going the extra step, the extra mile to go after people's families, to do legitimate doxing, to try to find people. You know, he's a bit of a boomer, and he'll make up fake stuff that's pretty laughable. He's a pretty good meme, but at the same time, he does real danger. And it's time for this guy to go. It's time for people to be aware of who this guy is and what his latest shenanigans have been up to. Now, I'm getting ahead of myself. Hansen recently had a pretty interesting show with the Insane Clown Posse. I can't believe I'm saying that for real. Yeah, that's right. The Insane Clown Posse, the American hip-hop duo. I mean, it says it right here. The hip-hop duo of Violent J and Shaggy 2 Dope, founded in Detroit in 1989. Insane Clown Posse performs a style of hardcore hip-hop known as horrorcore, and is known for its elaborate live performances. The meme band itself, the king of the juggalos. We're on Chris Hansen to talk about Davi Vanity. Now, you might be wondering, what do these people have to do with the Davi Vanity situation? Beats me. I mean, I guess, you know, they performed in the same, like, you know, the same sort of style of music and stuff like that. I mean, look, I'm sure there's some vague connection, but these people are not, you know, neither of these two people are victims of Davi Vanity. I guess, you know, Chris Hansen, if he wants to do a show with them to talk about the situation, he's allowed to. But it seems a bit strange, you know, like to be bringing on victims to talk about Davi Vanity and what their experiences with Davi Vanity, and then all of a sudden bringing on entertainers. You do you, Hansen. I mean, from what I hear, it was actually a pretty entertaining show for what it's worth. But I'm sure Hansen's having fun with that. That's all right. This is a real thing.
Rebellious, you know, and their parents hate it, so it makes kids eat it up even more. You know, we've been down that road.
Yeah, basically,
crazy.
Basically, what we're trying to say is we don't believe that he created Blood on the Dance Floor as a tool to attract young women.
For the simple fact, because he's not smart enough.
He's not smart enough to actually pull.
Yeah, you can go watch on Hansen's channel if you want. Yeah, have a seat with Chris Hansen. Look at how out of place he is over here. That's just so funny. But no, there's actually real shit that I want to talk about. Here's something John Swan put up recently where he said, ha ha ha, piss off Gene. What is he talking about? Well, this is Gene's account saying, so John buys a cameo from Chris Hansen. Chris Hansen on the website Cameo, where you can pay basically washed up boomer celebrities to, you know, speak certain lines for you. John Swan did buy a cameo from Chris Hansen for a meme, and Gene is saying, with a credit card with his legal information on it, and John doesn't think I have it? That's just dumb. This guy's been on the prowl for John's docs, his private information for a while, and now this is what he's saying. Well, if we take a look here, this is apparently a screenshot that he released where he's talking to Chris Hansen. Hansen asks, do you have a copy of each video? Gene says, no, but they should be on your Cameo account. You made the videos they paid for. Chris Hansen says, K, doing search. Gene says the maps one and the shit. There's another one referring to a meme cameo that John had bought from Hansen. Hansen says found it. Gene says the maps one is John. Shiloh can confirm. Hansen says I found it. Gene says I will shit myself if I'm right. His name is and then he blinks it out. Now, this is when John had reached out to Cameo asking about what information Chris Hansen may or may not have if he bought a Cameo from Hansen. They wrote back saying, "Hey John, thanks for reaching out. The only information that the talent will see when they get the order is the information that was filed on the booking form. That's it. Let me know if you have any other questions. Thanks, Vanessa from Cameo." Now, John had bought the Cameo from Hansen from a different email registered under a different name. He booked it under the name Alyssa Bartman, made a new email for it and everything. So he's 100%, even if they were to send all that information to Chris Hansen, he's in the clear. So Gene is just whipping up fake stuff to scare him. And you might be wondering, well, Gene, this guy is a troll. He's just, doing this for attention. Why are you giving him the attention he wants? Well, stick with me here. This is an account that wrote a very interesting story about John Swan. Now, I don't know if this is Gene or not, but it's definitely a Hansen fan, or I guess it could be a detractor too, but somebody around Hansen's circle that's writing a story about John getting busted with 2 8-year-olds tied up and naked. John Swan repeatedly raped them for days and got busted. So it's just this terrible story. John Swan lies about Chris Hansen, who has a very successful TV program. I mean, this reads off like Gene to me. Regardless, these are the people that hang around Hansen's circle. When you criticize Hansen, people around his circle will write up little stories about how you're diddling 8-year-olds and going to explicit detail and write up fake stories about how you're some sort of crazy pedophile, which is strange. I mean, I'm not saying Hansen's responsible for this, but it should give you some pretty big red flags that these are the Hansen supporters. I don't know. I'm not saying they're all like this, but this is a little bit odd to me. Let's keep going. Now, I just had to do some live censoring here because this is where shit starts to get real. Again, if this person was just trolling and, writing fake stories about how they're gonna dox you and stuff like that, I just say, ignore them. I mean, you should ignore them regardless, but, it's if they're just trolling or whatever, I mean, that's what trolls do. This is where shit gets a little bit real. Now, as you can see, there's a lot of black boxes on the screen. These are not black boxes that were on these original images on Twitter. These are boxes I added over my OBS overlay because I don't want to show my buddy's personal information. The banner here of this tweet shows Pescator, Josh Pescator, his family, and the name of this account, the @ is Josh Pescator or J_Pescator, but the username is a dox. And this person writes, LMAO, the person threatening to dox John Swan is sending me messages after I called them a nerd and they replied to me, laughing my ass off, fucking loser. Yeah, I'd say that's a loser indeed, and it's funny, you criticize Hansen and then all of a sudden you're getting doxxed and your family's getting doxxed and shit like that. Little bit strange. I don't know. Here is another screenshot. This guy, a complete retard, by the way, Pugnant, but that's a story for another day. Here's John Swan replying. Pugnant was, I guess, replying to that account. And then Pugnant, or John Swan wrote to Pugnant saying, just letting you know, that's one of the accounts of the person trying to dox me. I'd be careful. Showing this DM right here. At John Swan, it shows an image here, getting a little closer. How close am I to getting to your house? Won't be much longer, John, and everyone in the world will know who you are. I would remove the Hansen video before it's too late. Anonymous Gene. Now, obviously, John's posting this freely, so this can't be his information. I mean, John so much has confirmed that, but the fact that he's trying is literally, it's disturbing, to say the least. Here's some more censoring I have to do here of somebody sharing an account. This is the same account as before. This ding-dong, this is Gene writing, this ding-dong still thinks I work for Hansen. What a scared little girl, just face me, John. Says the snowflake that blocks me at every turn, just obsessively tweeting, you know, just looking for his information. I think at this point you get it. And let me just be clear here. You should stay away from this account. I mean, I'm probably not doing myself any favors by going at it, but again, I don't care. I'm sorry. I just don't give a fuck. But you should, because you in the audience are most likely not public figures, and you should probably stay away from people like this. I'm just showing it to you guys to highlight something that's an inherent problem. Hansen's been criticized for a while for working with shady people. Most of the time people point to people like Vincent and the lawyer Mike Morse, but people don't talk about this, what's going on behind the scenes. You know, it's not just threats and pretending to dox people. Actual doxes are taking place. And it's not just doxing people that, you know, are public figures that talk about this stuff. It's doxing their families. And that's wrong, and it should be called out, and it should be, a spotlight should be put on this, and Hansen should be made aware of what's going on here. Not that he's responsible, but again, this is, you know, this shouldn't be happening. And this is a former associate of Hansen, somebody Hansen directly sourced, somebody Hansen directly worked with. Obviously, as far as we know, not anymore. But what good is that when people are literally, you know, their families are getting doxxed from this bullshit? That's all I want to say. Yeah, I think that's everything I want to say. Just thought I'd let you guys know what's going on there. My name is RUFC. I'm gonna bounce out of here again. Stay away from people like this. Don't engage this guy. Don't, like, you know, don't try to fight this guy or whatever. It's just not gonna work at all. Just chill out, do your thing, block this account, and move along with your life. I got a special bonus video out on Patreon talking about Dr. Disrespect. He recently gave an interview where he speaks more about his band and the mysterious situation going on there. Go check me out over at patreon.com/AugieRFC. Give me 1 second. And if you're a patron at patreon.com/AugieRFC, a special shout out to you. I've been posting more videos there. I should have a video there later today as well. After Hours Tonight as well, which is my podcast. The audio of that is going up on patreon.com/AugieRFC, and the video will be on this YouTube channel as well as my Storyfire channel. All these platforms, you can find me at AugieRFC on every single one of them. I'm gonna get out of here. I'll talk to you guys later, everyone. Peace out.